This is a 2025 Triumph Tiger 660, and today I'm taking it for its first ride to find out all about it. I'm Chaseontwowheels. Welcome to our first ride. I don't know why I do the things I do. Pause. You know what? No, you got to crank up. All right. Woo! That's a mean sounding triple, baby. You know what else is a mean sounding Bluetooth unit? Grabbing a card with our discount. Hey, it's a fantastic thing. I can't ride without it, and I'm going to save you money with that code. Thank you, Cardo. I'm going to see myself out now. I'm so sorry. That was bad for me. All right, guys, that's what it looks like, and that's what it sounds like. Now, before we get going, we get to thank the awesome sponsor of this episode, and it's my favorite motorcycle sunglasses, Flying Eyes. Have you guys ever been about to go for a ride, and you just throw your sunglasses on while you're wearing your helmet, and then 1 or 2 minutes into your ride, you get the gnarliest freaking headache you have ever gotten before? That is because your sunglasses, just like most sunglasses, have very thick arms here on the side, and when you're wearing a helmet, bruh, there is not a lot of space in here, and it causes a crazy pressure point on the side of your helmet. I cannot stand those headaches, and that is why Flying Eyes are the only sunglasses I wear while I ride. As you guys can see, the arms on Flying Eyes are incredibly thin. You guys can barely see them on the camera, and that makes them fit in perfectly on this small little area that you have on here. They were actually made for pilots of aircraft because they have those headphones on, but it turns out they work out perfectly for motorcycle riders because of us wearing them while we are riding around. Other cool things about these sunglasses. One, they might be super thin. Like, look how thin that is. Can you guys see how thin this is? Watch how durable. Boop. They always pop back in place, dude, which is perfect because, like, they just slot straight in there. These things are incredibly durable. They have awesome styles all over the place. I'm trying these, like, I think these are the aviators, but they have other options like that one, and my favorite, that one. Oh, and trust me, that durability is not just with the arms. The entire sunglasses can bend all around. These are some of the most durable sunglasses I have ever tried, and I am glad because I am not very good with my sunglasses. I don't treat them very well, and the Flying Eyes have held up so freaking well. In the summertime, I ride with my visor open a lot of the time so I can get as much air as possible, and with these shatterproof lenses, I don't have to worry about things hitting me in the eye and having to get freaking eye surgery. Dude, if you got a piece of road debris hit you directly in the eye without sunglasses on, with your visor up, you're gonna have a bad day. Anyway, if you guys want to try out Flying Eyes for yourself, I have a discount code in the description down below. Flying Eyes, thank you for sponsoring the channel and being easily the best sunglasses for motorcyclists out there. I appreciate you. I'm gonna keep riding in you. All right, guys, let's get to the first ride. The cool thing about Flying Eyes is they're one of those sponsors, or don't tell them this, but they're one of those sponsors that even if they stop sponsoring the channel, I will still be using these things because they're just that much better than everything else on the market. You guys keep that between me and you because I don't want them to stop sponsoring me, but the product is absolutely fantastic. Alrighty, guys, now that we have the Flying Eyes equipped, we can get on the 2025 Triumph Tiger 660. The last time I rode one of these, it was a pass. So I am very interested today to find out if the modifications that it has got on it is going to make it a purchase this time. You guys are gonna have to stick around and find out, but let's throw a leg over the old beast. Alrighty, guys, I'm 5'10", got a 32-inch inseam, and I actually have bent legs. This is one of those motorcycles where the pegs are right where my foot wants to be, so even with my feet having to be out a little wider, I've still got bent legs. So if you guys are a shorter rider, not to worry, you will still be okay. There we go. Triple is up and going. And guys, we do have modes. You can't really see the mode button. It's all the way down there. We have sport, rain, and road. And despite the weather, we're going to try not to need rain. But we're going to start out in rain and we'll work our way up to sport. As you guys can see, the mode changes the ABS, the map, and the traction control. We will hit that little check mark button. And yeah, we got the odometer. That's fine. Okay, cool. Let's get this first ride going using our blinkers because we're good drivers, and by driver I mean rider. We're all friends on the Tiger 660. By the way, if you guys want to get updates on everything we do here on the channel, you can join our newsletter, link in description down below. We email you all the secret little updates we got going on. Alright, Tiger 660, are you a purchase now that Triumph has given you specific mods that I think you very much needed? There's only one way to find out. And actually, you know what? While the windscreen is in the lower position, I am in city setting, but I'm going to raise it up so that my audio can be a little better for you guys. How many of you guys ride behind a truck like this and just think of like Final Destination kind of stuff where that car falls off and I avoid it, but then a door flings out? I cannot be the only one that thinks that kind of stuff, right? I know I'm not. I know I'm not alone. Alrighty guys, this is the first ride. You guys know how we start these things. Let's talk about body position. So overall, very comfortable body position. We've got a nice comfortable seat. It's super wide and my whole butt's fitting on it. I love that. My legs are tucked in a little back, but overall they're still in a relatively comfortable position. And then the handlebars are kind of low. I feel like my arms are just slung pretty low down, but this body position is effortless to stay in. I'm very happy with a touring bike body position like this. The seat also has a little bit of maneuverability. Like I can sit up more on it if I want to feel more aggressive, or I can sit back and get a more comfortable situation. So I do appreciate that. Nice job, Triumph. Also, let me just say, rain mode is safe mode. They have done a good job of dialing the power down quite a bit. So we're gonna go from rain to road now. As we transition through our little mode change red light. Hello, mode change red light. Also, you guys will notice that the camera car footage looks slightly different than my POV footage today, and that is because I am filming this on a different day. We do 2 runs. Now you know all the secrets of the first ride. All right, guys, so let's talk about the engine powering the Tiger 660. It is going to be Triumph 660cc CC triple that they put in this and the Trident. Is there anything else? Why do I feel like it? Oh, the Daytona, of course. Duh. Daytona 660 has the same engine. But yeah, the 660 triple, it's good for right there at 80 horsepower. And if I remember correctly, 41 foot-pounds of torque. And the bike's coming in at a weight of 456 pounds, which when I read that online, for a 660 sized motorcycle, it does seem a little heavy, at least on paper. Anybody that works construction that's watching this, can you guys shine any light on why there's always like a million construction guys that stand around watching 2 or 3 people do the work? I feel like I always see that, and I'm always like, how many managers do we have on the job site? Or am I just not seeing it right? You guys let me know. Shine some light for me. Bro, I just went to sit on the peg and I hit the kickstand. That's hilarious. That'd be not good in a different situation. That kickstand does seem to poke out really far though. You guys notice that? I don't know if it looks like it on camera, but here in person it does look kind of strange. So while we're cruising around city streets, let's talk about some of the updates that the Tiger 660 has. If I forget some, it is what it is. You guys know I can't remember everything, but some of the highlighted points. We now have cruise control, which was a massive loss in the first version of this motorcycle. We also have an up and down Quickshifter on this bike. And if I remember correctly, it has a slipper assisted clutch, which should make for easier and smoother clutch pulls. We also have this very cool colorway. I do not know what this color is called, but it looks awesome in person. Hopefully that translates over the cameras. I want to say that's the majority of the major updates that I can remember. Or if anything, those are the updates that I care the most about. Specifically, the cruise control. It was a travesty, and probably one of the main reasons that this bike got a pass from me last time is because of that lack of a cruise control. But for a 456 pound motorcycle, getting it around traffic and around the city streets, an absolute breeze. I'm super comfortable. I've got these wide handlebars, and the bike can very easily go in different directions. As you guys can see, it takes no energy, and it will quickly hustle in that other direction. So you are going to have no problem weaving around traffic if that's the type of riding you want to be doing. I also really like the body position for city riding because my head's really high up and I can easily just look around and keep an eye on everything that's going on around me, which is very important in city settings. You guys know tons of stuff is going on. You guys got to keep your eye on everything, and this body position really does help you do that. The triple is actually, I personally feel like, a solid engine for city performance. It's, at least in sport mode, I've got plenty of pick up and go. There's a little bit of a wind up time, but I find that makes the bike a little easier to ride. It's not like a parallel twin where it's hitting you right off the bat. You get a little bit of that wind up and then the power comes on. So it makes for a very easy riding experience. And now we're gonna get this thing leaned over and see. Oh my good Lord, that truck is gonna block all the traffic. Thank God we ain't going that way, fam. That's what I'm talking about. You get a little bit of that wind up, and it's almost like the engine's like,
hey man, just so you know, we're about to go. Just take some time, take a little second, take a little breather, hold on, and then let's get going.
It's kind of one of the beauties of the triple engine, right? It's kind of the middle ground between the inline four and like a parallel twin, or a twin in general, not necessarily parallel, even though parallel is arguably the best engine style, but that's neither here nor there. Clutch pull is super nice. I know we'll talk about more about the clutch later on, but here in the city I like hitting on it because we're using it a lot more than in other settings. I cannot stop using the clutch. I've got an up and down Quickshifter and I'm still using the clutch. I guess that says good stuff about the clutch, right? Yeah, I love this amount of power for the city. It's not too much, so the bike's not weighted down and really heavy, and it makes it really agile, but this is just a phenomenal package for city riding, which is awesome. We're loving this. Now we just got to see what it does on the highway, which is arguably even more important because this is one of Triumph's touring motorcycles, which is why I didn't understand why it didn't have cruise control, but we're past that. It has it now, and that's all that matters. Oh, you're getting over. Nice. A blinker would have been solid. Making the traction control do a little work, and that's in road mode. So what is sport mode gonna feel like? Good question, Chase. Let's go over to sport mode now. All right, we're in sport mode, which affects the traction control, ABS, and power delivery. That's there we go. That's where I kind of expected sport mode to feel like. Sport mode gives you more of that hit. I can feel it in the initial power, probably the most right now, where now the bike has that hit, which we like. We like power. We like it being controllable for sure, but we definitely like the ability to use the power. Oh, we get the green light. Oh, that's awesome. All right, guys. Have you guys ever wondered how fast a 2025 Triumph Tiger 660 will go from 40 miles an hour to 80 miles an hour? I found myself asking that same question. So today I'm going to find out. Let me scoot back a little bit. I don't know what gear to do this in. I'm feeling like it's second, but we're going to top second out really fast. All right, we're going to try second. I'm going to get my foot in the quick position ready. All right, we should be okay. I'm waiting for traffic to clear. On your mark. Get set, go. And 80, that's it. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! That is 80, and we are in traffic, ladies and gentlemen. My God, in fourth, and we're still pulling like that. What's my time for the 40 to 80? I don't know, like in my heart, that felt like it took a little long, but I'm not really sure. It is a 660. Anyways, guys, we're here on the highway. I feel like it took a little long to get up from 40 to 80, but I feel like that probably because I was in the wrong gear. The bike also only has 500 miles on it, so we're not fully broken in. Anyway, here on the highway, windy day. You guys can see the weather conditions are not ideal. I'm getting blown around a lot, but I don't really feel any wind thanks to this handled windscreen. You know, it's manually adjusted. I don't feel any wind until my upper arms and my shoulders. That's kind of the only place. Wind's not really hitting my head except for the very, very tippy top of my helmet. And that's solid. I'm very happy with that. And I'm not gonna get to test it. You know what? To hell with it, we're doing it. I'm testing cruise control just so you guys can see. The bike has cruise control! Woohoo! Nice job, Triumph, for doing an obvious change on a motorcycle that needed it. This is a very dangerous situation. I can rotate forward and exit cruise control. Nice job. Being in cruise control in this lane is just a really dumb idea, which is why I disengaged that. But I did want to show you guys that cruise control was a thing that we have on this bike. I am very happy to say that. The thing that frustrated me the last time with this bike is that Triumph made such a good touring package, and just I don't think we've hit it yet. This bike comes in right under 10 grand. It's like 9.8 something, MSRP at least from our research. But it was like, bro, you guys are giving us such a good motorcycle. The engine feels good. The seat feels good. We got an adjustable windscreen, and it's a touring bike, and we don't have cruise control. Like, I'm not going to tour on a motorcycle without cruise control. So, needless to say, a big shout out to Triumph for sticking with it and putting something on this bike that it absolutely needed to really give it the best user experience for the people picking it up. What's all the cop stuff for? Let's find out. Oh, van got full. Hopefully everybody's okay. Yeah, so guys, overall experience on the highway, I think it gets a little wind heavy towards the top of your shoulders and stuff, but overall this bike is phenomenal on the highway. I'm getting blown around a little bit up top, but I don't feel like the bike's moving around that much. So I'm feeling really good about this as a touring vehicle. Very happy with the changes Triumph made to it. And also the body position is just a really solid body position to be able to put some good miles on it. And I feel like it comes in at a really good price. Oh God, we have another one of those final destination situations going on. Jesus. Another thing I'm surprised by with this bike is the power pickup in higher gears. I would not have expected so much power at a higher rev. I almost feel like the power feels strong at the initial. It kind of lulls in the middle, and then it picks up again in the top of the rev range. That's what it's feeling like to me. I haven't looked at like a power chart or anything, or a dyno chart, but based on how it's riding right now, it's kind of weird, which is interesting. You get the fun horsepower up top, and you get the punchy power down low, and then if you just want to chill out, just keep the revs in the middle. So it's kind of an interesting situation. We're not going to get a good turn here, but that's okay. I do remember from the camera car run, because we got a pretty good run up to the camera car run. One of the things I did notice when I got into this turn, the bike seemed to take a long time to really get settled. Like I threw it in and I got it at the angle I wanted it to be at, but then the bike just was wiggling a little bit. It did not fill me with the confidence that I want to have with a motorcycle. The suspension's not bad. It's super comfortable. And it's done a phenomenal job up to that point when I really threw it over. And we also have a motorcycle that doesn't have adjustable front suspension. So, you know, the suspension you have is the suspension you got unless you update it. And I was kind of sitting with that like, okay, cool. It doesn't really lock me in when I'm really pushing the bike over. But then I got to thinking about it, and you know, suspension is kind of like power, where there's a balance. You don't want too much, you don't want too little, right? Suspension is the same way, where you don't want a super hard suspension that's going to be better for riding more aggressively, but it is going to be uncomfortable as hell. But with a touring focused motorcycle, I do think you want to sway slightly towards the comfortable side, which is going to be the softer side. And while that does compromise your aggressive riding ability a little, I don't think it does it enough on this bike to really worry about. I would still enjoy taking it on a couple day trip, going through the mountains and having a good time. I just don't think I would want to necessarily take it to a track day where I would need that real confidence that suspension should give me. But yeah, I feel like Triumph did the right thing. We've got nice shoulder suspension in the front. We do have hand adjustable rear suspension, which is nice. I could literally reach back here and adjust it if I wanted to. Not going to do that right now, but yeah, I think they made the right move. You know, it's always a balance. You always got to strike it right. And I think the majority of the people that buy this motorcycle are going to want a comfortable suspension over a hard suspension. So the show of fronts, no problem. It is a very comfortable ride. I have enjoyed myself very much so far. All right, moving on, let's talk about the gearing. And to talk about the gearing, we got to talk about this Quickshifter. This Quickshifter is butter. It's actually a little too soft for me. This Quickshifter is so smooth, you can almost barely tell that you're shifting depending on where you are in the rev range. I personally like a little bit more of a click, but the bike doesn't even know it's shifting, so they have a very smooth Quickshifter here, and that's also paired with an extremely smooth clutch. So very good job there, Triumph. Brakes wise, we do have Nissan brakes on the bike, and I've actually been surprised by these Nissan brakes. Let me get in a more straight situation and I'll show you. But they bite from the get-go. I don't know if you guys can see how much the bike dives when I brake, but watch this. You get initial and strong bite. Now, that's a good thing, right, for stopping. But, you know, I do feel like the brakes might be a little too bitey up front. I wish I had a little more smooth braking before they really bit in. You know, you have to barely touch the brakes to just get that tiny bit. So the brakes are almost too strong and for a Nissan brake. That's solid. I didn't talk about the gearing. I got too excited about the Quickshifter, but I feel like when you guys ride this motorcycle, you're probably gonna find that the gears typically are a little taller. I feel like I could stay in a gear for way longer than I would mentally expect to be in the gear. But that does allow me to get to have that power up front, middle area, and then power up high, is at least what it feels like. So I kind of like it. I kind of like the gearing on the bike. It's, if anything, it's interesting, and it gets me interested to ride it. You know what I mean? I feel like we should not be in sport now that we're on the road. Now we're back on city streets. So we'll hit this. We will go over to road. And we will hit the button. Close throttle. Throttle is closed, bruh. Oh, you gotta rotate throttle forward. I realized I said earlier that the bike only has 550 miles. No, the bike has 40 miles. That's why the shift indicator is so low. Triumphs are always like,
please don't hurt me, please don't hurt me, please don't hurt me.
More traffic, shocker, on a first ride. I wonder how still I can be and my editor can fast forward it to where the wait for you guys is 1 second, and who knows how long it is for me. Let's find out. And stop. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't know if I've ever been so still and so quiet my entire life. My God, how long did I sit there without talking or barely moving? I think I almost fell asleep at one point. I felt the bike like tipping sideways. All right, so guys, since we're petering through traffic all slow and crap, we'll just talk about the controls up here while we're kind of stuck through this. Overall, the controls have not been bad. I like the placement of everything that they've done here. And I will say that, you know, when I think of a Triumph motorcycle, I do feel like the first word that comes to my brain is premium. And I don't necessarily get like overly premium with the controls here. They are plasticky, but they have a good feel and they work really well. And to get the bike under $10,000 MSRP, to be honest, I'm kind of okay with them. You know, as long as they work well, as long as they hold up, I think I'm fine with that for a mid-tier Triumph. And then that way the upper tier Triumphs can do their thing. Now, the dash situation, the dash is okay. It's nothing crazy. It's nothing revolutionary. It can connect to your phone and do navigation. I think I can show you guys that while we're here, since we're going so slow. Yeah, navigation, you have to use the Triumph app. But the fact that you can even do navigation on a bike like this is really neat. And with it being a touring motorcycle, that makes sense, right? You can control your music and stuff like that. Awesome. The only problem that I have with the dash is that this is a motorcycle with modes. So I can change the mode that I'm in, and in no setting and nowhere on the dash does it show you what mode you're in. And I feel like that's silly. Like, I should be able to go down and adjust my mode, or at least look and be like, you know, check what mode I'm in. You know what I mean? Like, am I in road mode? Am I in sport mode? Oh no, it's raining. Am I in rain mode or not? These are things that I feel like it should be standard on motorcycles to have modes, they should have the mode indicated on the screen. This bike does not. Is that a make or break for a motorcycle? I don't believe so. But it's just something that, you know, typically I feel like Triumph, like what I know them for is attention to detail. So when a detail like that is overlooked, I notice it more. So if it was if it was another manufacturer, I probably wouldn't even notice that. But because it's Triumph, I do notice that. Final thing, we do have adjustable levers, and I appreciate them being adjustable. I would like them to be blacked out. That would be nice, but it's okay. I would just appreciate that they are adjustable. And our windscreen is adjustable, which is super nice. So nice job there. Also, I don't know what it looks like to you guys on the camera, but the mirrors seem very close to me, but they also seem to do a pretty good job. So I can't really hate on them too much. They just they give me a little claustrophobic, but overall they would do a good job, so I can't really complain. What else? Grips feel good. Everything feels solid, especially for an under $10,000 Triumph. Overall, I'm a pretty happy camper, especially with the Quickshifter. Slather butter all over that toast because the Quickshifter is smooth as butter. I say some stuff sometimes in first rides, and I don't know if it makes sense to you guys. It totally makes sense in my brain, obviously, because I said it. But, you know, sometimes I just feel like it's worth explaining it real quick, just in case. It looks like we might get out of here without getting rained on, guys. Stoked about that. Even though my helmet setup is fully waterproof, and if you guys want to see the setup, I'll leave a link in the description down below. Haha, plugged my own video.
Alrighty guys, for the chase score on the Tiger 660, let's start off with throttle response. I'm going to give it a 7 here. Nothing crazy to really speak of, but didn't have any problems with it, so I'm going to give it a pretty decent score. Next up we have agility, and I'm going to give it an 8. The combo of the balance with the handlebars makes this bike an absolute breeze to throw around. The brakes bite a little too hard up front and cause a considerable amount of dive in the front, so I'm going to give the brakes a 4. So for acceleration, I'm going to give it a 6 because of the weirdness of having the power up front, but then having the lull in the middle of the rev range, and then more power at the top. There's a little weirdness going on there, so I think a 6 is fine. So for the suspension, I'm going to give it a 4. I feel like it could be a little harder, even though soft is good for a touring bike. I think it might be a little too soft, so maybe a little more stiffening would make it a little better. Comfort-wise, I am giving this bike a 7. With a comfy seat and a relaxed body position, this bike does a great job of keeping you comfortable for a long period of time, which is perfect for a touring bike. Now for tech, I'm going to give it a 5. The addition of cruise control did a great job here, but with only basic traction control and cruise control, there isn't a ton of tech to really talk about, so middle of the road with a 5 is fine. Now for ease of use, I gotta give it a 3. Now I'm going to be honest, I'm giving the bike a knock here in this department because I think the dash could use a ton of work, and I don't really have another category where I could knock it for the issues that I want to talk about. The major issue being that the lack of visible modes indicator on the dash isn't there. Like, I have to go into the menu to find what mode I'm in, and I think that is just silly, so this is the area I'm knocking it for that problem. Versatility wise, I'm going to give the bike a 5. With this updated model, touring is now a solid option to the already great city riding that the bike was previously. I will say, with the suspension needing a little more work to make me feel as comfortable as I want with sporty riding, I gotta keep the versatility in the middle because it's a good city bike and a good touring bike now. Now, for fun for the money, I think I'm gonna give the bike a 5. For a bike that's under $10,000, I think it's an amazing touring option to get into the Triumph family. I just don't think it's gonna blow anybody's minds.
So if you're looking for that style motorcycle, if you want a touring bike and you want to stay in the Triumph family and you got a budget around 10 grand, you should check it out. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and share this video out with somebody that you think would love the Tiger. And of course, thank you to Triumph Roswell. That is the dealership that we got this bike from. Absolutely love working with those guys. So if you're in the Roswell, Georgia area and you need a Triumph motorcycle, or at least just want to check them out, we will have a bike provided by link for all of their info. You guys go give them some love for letting us loan the bikes out. They also got a delicious coffee shop, and I can highly recommend chicken salad on a croissant. Ask me how I know. All right, guys, that's all from me. Thank you, Triumph Roswell. Thank you, Flying Eyes. Remember, 10% off discount code in the description if you want a pair of sunglasses for yourself while you ride your bike around. They are phenomenal. Thank you for sponsoring. I'm Chase on Two Wheels. It's been a first ride. I'll see you on the next one.
Bye.